The Mirror of Midnight Manor. The terrifying legacy of Midnight Manor. Nestled atop a desolated hill, shrouded in perpetual twilight, loomed the ominous Midnight Manor, a mansion that had long been the epic center of dread and despair. Its decrepit walls and shattered windows told the story of a place forsaken by time and forsaken by the world. But it was the legend of the mirror that had earned Midnight Manor its sinister reputation. The story began with the Donovan family, who had inherited the mansion from generations past. The Donovan name was synonymous with wealth and influence, but it was also associated with a dark legacy of tragedy and malevolence. The mansion was a labyrinth of crumbling grandeur, its shadowy chambers filled with relics of a bygone era. As the Donovans settled into their ancestral home, they could feel the weight of history pressing down upon them. The Donovan family's investigations had led them to believe that Midnight Manor held the key to unlocking secrets about their family's curse, a curse that had plagued them for centuries. It was said that the curse was linked to an ornate mirror that had been in the family's possession for generations. As the days turned into weeks, the Donovans began to experience strange occurrences, a mournful wailing that echoed through the corridors, eerie whispers that seemed to emanate from the walls, and an inexplicable chill that permeated the air. It was then that they discovered the mirror, an ancient, ornately framed looking glass that hung in a dimly lit chamber at the heart of the mansion. The mirror was said to be the source of the curse, and its reflection was rumored to reveal the darkest truths of one's soul. Determined to uncover the truth and break the curse that bound Midnight Manor, the Donovans set out to decipher the mysteries of the mirror. They gazed into its depths, seeking answers to the questions that had haunted their family for generations. But as they peered into the mirror's reflection, they were met with a horrifying sight. Their worn souls twisted and contorted, their darkest fears and regrets laid bare before them. The mirror reveled in their torment, feeding on their anguish and despair. As the Donovans delved deeper into the mysteries of the mirror, they realized that the curse was linked to a malevolent entity, an entity that had been bound to the mirror through a dark ritual performed by a Donovan's ancestor. The entity materialized, a formless, wreathing mass of darkness and malevolence, and spoke in a voice that was both seductive and terrifying. It offered the Donovans unimaginable power and knowledge in exchange for their souls, taunting them with visions of their deepest fears and darkest desires. But the Donovans were unyielding. With a final defiant gesture, they shattered the cursed mirror, breaking the malevolent entity's hold on their family and freeing themselves from the curse that had plagued them for centuries. The mansion itself seemed to tremble as the entity was banished, and the eerie phenomena that had plagued Midnight Manor ceased. The Donovans emerged from the chamber, their spirits unbroken, and for the first time in generations, they felt a sense of peace and closure. As they left Midnight Manor behind, the moonlight casting long shadows behind them, the Donovans knew that their encounter with the supernatural had forever changed them. Midnight Manor would remain a place of fascination and mystery, but the curse had been broken, and the family's dark legacy had come to an end. The mirror of Midnight Manor had been shattered, but the story of their courage and triumph would linger on, a testament to the enduring power of family bonds and the strength of defy even the most malevolent of horrors. The Donovans' newfound peace was short-lived. In the days following the shattering of the cursed mirror, the mansion itself seemed to awaken, unleashing a wave of supernatural terror that defied explanation. It began innocently enough, a faint tapping on the windows, flickering lights, and unsettling whispers that echoed through the corridors. At first, the Donovans tried to dismiss these occurrences as mere remnants of the curse, residual echoes of the malevolent entity they had banished. But as the phenomena intensified, their sense of dread grew. One fateful night, as a malevolent storm raged outside, the Donovans gathered in the drawing room, seeking solace in each other's presence. The wind howled through the broken windows, and the rain lashed against the mansion's rotting facade. It was then that they heard it, a mournful, disembodied wail that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. The family huddled together, their fear palpable, as the wailing grew louder and more anguished. The sound seemed to converge on the shattered remains of the mirror, where the malevolent entity had been trapped. The mirror's shards quivered. Then, to the horror of the Donovans, began to resemble themselves, as if driven by some malevolent force. In a state of shock and disbelief, they watched as the mirror's frame reconstructed itself, piece by piece. The wailing grew louder, now accompanied by a chorus of tormented voices. The mirror's glass remained shattered, but the frame stood whole, an ominous portal to the unknown. As the mirror was made whole again, the room grew icy cold, and a grotesque visage emerged within the glass. A sinister face with hollow eyes and a malevolent grin. It was the face of the malevolent entity, twisted and contorted by centuries of suffering. With a gut-wrenching lurch, the entity tore itself free from the mirror, materializing in the room as a writhing, shadowy figure. Its form was an abomination, a nightmarish amalgamation of darkness and despair. The Donovan's terror reached a fever pitch as the entity spoke with a voice that seemed to reverberate through their very souls. It taunted them, recounting their deepest fears and regrets, and promised them a fate worse than death, a lifetime of suffering and torment. Desperation gripped the family as they realized that they had inadvertently unleashed a force far more malevolent than they could have ever imagined. With each passing moment, the entity's power grew and their own strength waned. In a final, desperate bid for survival, the Donovans attempted to reshatter the mirror, hoping to re-imprison the entity within. But the entity's power was overwhelming, and their efforts proved futile. With a sinister laugh, it retaliated, tormenting them with visions of their own demise. One by one, the Donovans succumbed to the entity's insidious influence. Their minds fractured as they were forced to relive their worst nightmares, their souls devoured by the malevolent force they had unleashed. The room became a chamber of unspeakable horror, a place of endless suffering and despair. As the storm raged on outside, the mansion itself seemed to absorb the darkness that had consumed the Donovans. Midnight Manor became a place of perpetual twilight, a cursed monument to the family's tragic legacy. The story of the Donovan family and their ill-fated encounter with the supernatural became a cautionary tale whispered in the shadows. Midnight Manor stood as a stark reminder of the consequences of meddling with forces beyond human understanding. A place where the line between reality and nightmare had been irrevocably blurred. The town below the hill, once curious and fascinated by the mansion's legends, now regarded it as dread and superstition. Midnight Manor had become a place of dread and despair, a cursed abode that beckoned to those who dared to seek its dark secrets, only to consume them in a never-ending nightmare. And so, Midnight Manor stood as a testament to the enduring power of malevolence, a place where the horrors of the past remained eternally bound to the present, and where the sins of one generation cast a long, dark shadow over the next. The mansion had become a realm of unspeakable terror, a place where the malevolent entity reigned supreme, its laughter echoing through the twisted walls of Midnight Manor for all eternity. Thank you.